They came into the NBA together 11 years ago. Between them, they've claimed 8 world titles. This season, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson could find themselves in yet another NBA final. After missing 15 games with a back injury, Larry Bird returned 10 days ago. The Celtics haven't lost since and boast the best record in the East. Magic Johnson saw the Lakers' 16-game winning streak snap Tuesday, but they still only trail Portland in the West. Tonight, the legends clash again on TNT. The Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, 2 of the 3 best records in the NBA, have come to the Forum tonight to renew a traditional rivalry in the NBA. Late for the Lakers and Robert Parrish jumping center.
This is going to be a real test tonight, Ron.
Kick it out to Worthy with 5 on the shot clock. He can't get it to go, and the Celtics are running, and this is what they do best. Shaw all the way with the left hand.
Well, they're quite acrobatic out in the open floor.
Boston Celtics, their best record after 49 games since 1986-87. Inside of Robert Parrish.
Oh, what a pass! Take a check here now on Bird. Watch how casually he drops it down with the left hand. Look at this. Very casual to the man coming underneath the basket. Beautiful move by the Birdman.
Argent 5th in assists. That helps success. Back to live action. D-Box underneath. Forces it up and gets it to go down. Now it is Bird. He'll launch it up from outside. I think Worthy may have gotten a little piece of that as the Celtics still lead it by 2. 9 minutes remaining in the first. Divac doesn't get it, but he draws the foul. Bird doesn't get it. Divac, rebound number 3 already. Mason Green.
Opportunities.
Shaw tries to force it up, has to dish it off underneath the Parrish, and the Chief gets 2.
Now, the Lakers shoot 9 to 10 threes a game.
The Boston Celtics shoot 52%, as you saw, first in the NBA because they get those high percentage shots, as Parrish now has 6.
Late, you know, with his wife giving birth to a healthy baby boy.
Bird waits for Divac to come out, and then he nails it. Celtics by 5, biggest lead of the ball game, inside of 7. Divac underneath. Oh, and he's stuffed by Robert Parrish. What a block by the Chief.
4 on 2.
To Bird.
Nice.
To Shaw. To the glass and to the basket. Celtics by 7, 6:36 in the first. The block.
Oh, this is an example of the Celtics half-court defense now. You can see now the excellent move. Terrific block by Parrish.
Boston shooting 55%. LA just 25%. Magic ups that. By 5, 6:10 in the first. Lewis, a little fall away off the back of the iron, and the Chief is there for his 9th point.
Every basket that the Chief has made, he has been standing under the rim or a foot away.
Worthy gets away from Kevin Gamble for his first 2 of the ball game, and
Not forced one.
Kevin Gamble from the baseline, he too misses, and now Magic will run showtime. 4 on 4. To the hole, easy.
And make him pick up his dribble.
Divac putting the chest up on Parrish. Parrish tries for the hook, but we have a whistle and a foul. 11 already of the Celtics' 17 points. Worthy tries to get the pass into Michael Thompson and wasn't looking.
Well, they was looking for Thompson to roll, but they held Thompson up that time.
Parrish, speaking of rolling right around James Worthy. My goodness.
I tell you, Robert, he's 37 years old. Tonight he looks like he's about 25.
Points and 12 rebounds. The first game of this road trip. Byron Scott over the outstretched hands of Reggie Lewis. Shaw, a little dipsy doodle out front. Then he cuts inside of the paint.
Now that was a tough shot.
Scott looking for Magic. Almost a good defensive play by Shaw. Lewis picks him up, so does Parrish. Magic wanted a foul. It was a pretty good looking flop.
Yeah, he wanted that one. There's definitely body contact.
Lewis. Worthy had the rebound, had a tip by Bird, but it will belong to the Lakers.
Interesting call. Now watch Magic on this replay. He's going to take you down inside here now. Spin move, fake, fake, fake. Now watch the bump. See, he wanted it on the bump, and he also wanted it on the strip.
And he got neither. Shot clock at 7. Worthy on Lewis. Shaw looking for the double team. There it is. Leaves Magic open for the 3 with 1 on the shot clock, and he buries it.
Like we said earlier, this is an excellent three-point shooting team. Pick and roll for Bird. Nice.
Parrish, baseline. Somebody cool this young man off.
I think that Worthy is respecting the double team a little bit too much. I think he should attack it earlier.
Excellent move by Brian Shaw, who takes the big step. The right-hander goes down. He has 8. Celtics playing extremely well. Worthy on Bird. The left hand goes down.
There you go. That's James.
Celtic lead nearing the 2-minute mark of the first quarter as Sam Perkins up off Los Angeles' bench and Larry Bird drains it too. Responding so far, and that concerned Chris Ford early in the game. Worthy shot, rolls around and drops.
Well, if you notice, the last 4 times down, they've had a different guy on Worthy. It's on the clock.
Thompson.
Chief. I mean, the Chief wearing you out.
That's the Social Security group there with Thompson and the Chief. Catch game with Magic and James Worthy. The same move for Worthy and the same result.
Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
The lead inside of a minute. What a pass from Bird to Parrish, and he gets it. Oh!
A little dipsy too brought it all the way to his knees with a scooper. Now appreciate the pass down inside the Bird, and watch how Michael Thompson just changes. See, he just looked, and there goes Parrish right to the front of the rim. Now, that basket right there, Boston has scored 25 of their 31 points are within 10 feet of the basket. Team Parrish to the front of the rim.
Whistle and a foul. The basket won't go down. And we've got a timeout. Trailing Jeff Hornacek of the Phoenix Suns. Bird, what a right-handed shot. He saw the foul and just said, why not? Why not? Big, they have come on strong. Magic, good pass to Worthy. Gets Parrish up in the air and he drops it.
I like that move.
Trying to sneak behind Thompson. Shaw will throw it up, won't go down. Parrish there for the follow. Count it. And at the buzzer, Worthy throws it off harmlessly off the backboard. 12 minutes have been played at the Forum in Inglewood, and it is all the Boston Celtics. They lead at 35-27. Quarter number 2 is next. It was the Robert Parrish show in the first quarter. 35-27, the Lakers by 8. He has done it all.
Let's check this 37-year-old guy in his 15th year. How about that for a shot clock? Then we've been saying all night long, he moves so well to the glass. See him picking up the offensive rebound because of the long arms. We're talking about wingspan here. And now watch how he fools James Worthy by spinning to the baseline. Robert at its best.
Wants the ball. He is guarded by Bird. Worthy kicks it back out.
See, Terry Teagle last year at Golden State played 29 minutes a game. Instant being hot.
Larry Bird with a tough 2. Won't get it. Teagle wants the ball on the left. Magic wheels and deals. Count it. The Celtics have found a cold spot. Lakers within 4. Teagle puts it up over Gamble.
Chris Ford, 22nd timeout, excellent. And that I mean right here. See, Magic is taking Shaw. He'll spin on him, take him right down inside. Then, as soon as the Celtic inbounded the ball, Shaw launched a 20-foot jump shot at the other end.
And Gamble in the near corner to Bird. Oh, makes the catch and flips it up.
I'll tell you, Larry's doing it all now.
Perkins looks where the three-point line is, puts it up, about a foot off. Nope, Teagle is there for the follow. He spends about 15 minutes a day doing it. D. Brown dishes off to Pinkney, who let it fly.
They lucked out on that. Good job, Joe. You got to put a body on him.
And Brown turns it over into the hands of Tony Smith. 3-on-1. They've got time to beat.
Nice pass by Smith.
One job in the first meeting between these two, in which the Lakers rolled over Boston. Perkins with the left hand.
Long arms.
6'4". Gamble.
There you go.
On the top of your screen, he is laying on his stomach. His physical therapist is with him, as we mentioned, first back-to-back games because of his back problems as Lewis gets on the board again in the second.
Another clear out.
Gamble with AC Green on him, and he gets the bounce.
See, I like it.
He says a lot of notoriety has come his way, but it's part of the job. Lewis forces it up, and he drains it. The continuation counted.
See, wear it out. And that's exactly what the Celtics are doing. Another clear out, another one-on-one. They're going to force the Lakers to either double team it or to change the defensive assignments here. Now, this is just smart basketball. See, they had to get this guy going. He's too good of an offensive threat for you. Anytime that you have a guy averaging 18.5 a game and he shoots such a high percentage at 48%, you must get him his shot opportunities.
He's not dressed tonight. Perkins takes the big step. Good defense by Reggie Lewis. Celtics with 3-on-2. Here it comes to Lewis. Doesn't get it. Tipped up and in by Kevin Gamble.
Come on, always use the board. Always use the backboard.
5 assists, 5 rebounds, as Boston has only turned the ball over once. Magic trying to make something happen, and he does.
Well, that was forced. The Celtics could not have played that any better.
Teagle on Lewis, pulls the trigger, and he buries it.
See, there's that clear out again, his hands.
Now it is Magic Johnson on Brian Shaw, and Shaw slaps it away, and I tell you, both players were slapping at each other.
Double team.
Shaw tries to go baseline on Magic. Gamble left alone, and he buries it.
Tough shot. Real good tonight. They're getting clusters of people. I would force them to hit that jump shot.
Worthy the patented turnaround. Magic can't get it to go down. Worthy keeps it alive over Parrish, and Parrish will be whistled for the foul.
Strong move by James Worthy.
Worthy, good looking pass inside to Perkins. Shaw comes up with a loose ball.
Perkins got caught behind the backboard. Even if he caught it, Ron, he couldn't have scored.
Gamble!
Yes, Boston Celtics. Dunleavy said we must stop the transition game first.
Byron Scott, you said he needs to heat it up, and he gets 2.
Pick and roll. Gamble never should have picked up his dribble.
Lewis over Divac, coming as the buzzer goes. Oh my, what a way to end the quarter, Hubie.
Yeah, but he knew that that guy was going to cut down the middle and take that pass for a layup.
And here it is again.
And because of Chris Ford's tie, that's why they're executing like this. Watch this great pass right here. Beautiful feed and way to end that play.
And we have finished 24 minutes at the Forum in L.A. The Celtics lead it by 11. Stay with us as Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta with the Prudential halftime report. Scores and highlights next. Divac, Parrish on him. Cook fakes one way, goes the other, throws the line drive down.
Yeah, that was a tough shot.
Now, Vlade Divac's back into the lineup. AC Green starting the second half from the top of the key, and he's got it.
Now, last year he used to get that shot an awful lot.
Looking for number 15. They've already had one streak come to an end this week as Lewis a little more aggressively, as he told us before the game.
Somewhere close to the basket.
Worthy tries to go inside from about 19. Divac rolls one around. Bird, the patented fall away won't go down. Parrish with the follow. Count it.
See, with the Chief, and when McHale is here, you must put your body right into their chest and move them out from you.
Parrish now with 23. His season high is 26 as Worthy wheels and deals for 2. What most felt they had to do to win tonight is hit the outside shots. Worthy from the foul line.
Now, the reason for the Celtic timeout is what you're going to see right now. Their game plan was not to double-team Magic Johnson as he's standing holding the ball. You'll see Gamble over here because Magic will always make the perfect pass. Their game plan was to double-team him when he dribbled the basketball. Because, see, anytime you commit on Magic before he makes his move, he now has all day to pick out the pass.
Turnover for Boston. Is it costly? Magic loses it. Turnover number 7 for the Lakers. Shaw inside. He's got it.
Wow.
Big time move, Huey.
Main thing is the Celtics cannot slow down. They've got to keep putting the pressure on the Lakers.
Parrish, the high archer, count it.
Continue this pace.
Parrish now with 25 as Magic goes to the hole, but is whistled for the foul. A physical game, right, Huey? As Magic Johnson is grabbed by Shaw inside, won't go down. Divac tries to tip it again. Parrish, the outlet to Shaw.
Vlade's got to knock those home.
Lewis inside, count the basket and the foul.
See, that was a big play. Because at the one end, Divac has a potential dunk, and he doesn't get the score. Now watch this pass. This has got to be a two-handed dunk. A strong move. See, he misses the play. And what happens? Boom, they get that rebound, they kick it deep, and then here you have a potential three-point play. There it is.
Tipped into the hands of Divac, inside to Perkins.
They're the ones the Lakers must convert.
Magic to Worthy. Slips and he goes down and he is grabbing his right foot.
Yes, indeed.
James Worthy is still down, and you can see that bend from where we were sitting.
Yes, indeed. That gave way on him. You couldn't tell whether he hit a slick spot. The ball boy's out there now wiping the foot. Now just watch as he makes his move right there. See, the foot gave way on him, the right foot.
Well, James Worthy looked at Gary Vitti, the trainer, as Gary was halfway out of the court as soon as he saw it happen. And James says he's okay.
That was a very smart foul. Here's that clear out.
And here comes Magic. He has a 3-on-2 to Divac. Oh, the reverse slam and count it.
And the people love the reaction. Not only the score. How about this now? Just watch this play. You'll see Magic come over. Gamble lost the ball. Now just watch as he makes the catch. He turns his body. Now watch this. Turns the body overhead. Gets the foul. Now watch his reaction. He gives it to the fans. Teamed early, forcing them to stay more perimeter than they were in the first half.
Lewis, the pull-up jumper goes down.
You must make the Celtics beat you from outside, especially if third is out of the line.
Magic to the hole.
The outside shot.
We talked about Boston having a good third quarter, but right now they are struggling, and Robert Parrish tries to put an end to that. Now Magic Johnson backing in on Lewis, takes it easily to the hole with the left hand.
And he'll always go to the open guy who he thinks has a higher percentage shot than himself.
Lewis left alone, and he buries another one. Boston 12 of 15 from the floor as Larry Bird comes up off Boston's bench. Perkins, the left-hander. And a half left in the third. Scott in and out to follow. Perkins really playing center now for the Lakers. Bank shot goes down.
Reggie Lewis has come to life.
Perkins working on Pinckney, blocks the shot. His 26th of the season. Lewis stops, pops, and he has the feel now.
Oh, he's smoking now.
Quarter on the part of both clubs. Gamble gambles, and he wins. And Magic doesn't pick him up.
Time.
All the way, the shot. That should be goaltending. Let's see if Hugh Evans calls it. It looked like it was tipped from both. Perkins wheels, throws up the left-hander. Oh, almost went down. Hit the back of the iron, but it doesn't go. 3 down, 1 to go. And as we go to break, we'll look at the prayer by Sam Perkins. The Celtics lead by 9 with 1 quarter left. Pinckney gets Divac up in the air, takes it inside, and count it.
Celtics are just playing a perfect game.
Shot by Brown goes down.
Inside of 15, 12, 10 feet.
Inside to James Worthy cutting through the paint. Partner in the Yugoslavia national team, Stojko Brankovic for Boston on their bench as Terry Teagle drops one down from the left side. Well, we mentioned the 37 minutes last night at Golden State. Better than 32 tonight already as Teagle takes it strong to the hole.
Baby. all over Lewis, you know, and has been for the last 5 minutes.
Now Worthy switches to Gamble as he takes it in with the left hand. My goodness. Elbow in Vlade Divac's neck. Then he gets Divac up in the air and he buries it.
Boy, they've hit the rainbows.
Johnson fakes the three, runs by Shaw. Worthy, the runner, it won't go. Magic eyeing Shaw.
Oh,
now
boy.
Parrish
Levels
Divac,
something here,
and they don't.
Yeah, well, they should have called something. If you don't double team, no one is open.
Shot clock inside of 10. Larry Bird for three. As far as three-point attempts, but that one is good by Larry Bird. The Celtics by 11. 4:50 left. Larry Bird in the three-point shot.
See, this is what we said, what you get with Larry Bird at the top. We're talking about courage. Right here, he launches a three. He had just missed his previous 8 shots. I'm surprised that they took Divac out.
Bird on Teagle, the fall away high archer by Reggie Lewis, and everything is falling for the Celtics. Up by 13, the biggest lead of the game for Boston. The shot slapped away by Brian Shaw. This is something unusual. The fans begin to head to the stands as this game is far from over, but Reggie Lewis is trying to put the lid on it now.
Well, they're definitely struggling in this quarter. The Lakers are 3 for 13 from the field, and they have no points down inside in the power game. Now, I think tonight the Celtics answered the question, can Bird play back-to-back? I think so.
8 at 1, 11 at halftime. Celtics turn it over, and Reggie Lewis gets it right back. The Lakers now just 1 of 11 on three-point attempts. 8 and 5. They get over 100 here.
Well, you know, you think about this. They're up in Seattle.
That's their best mark in that many games since their title season of 85-86. Smith tries to get on the board, and the former BYU star does just that.
The thing that you like about the Celtics, they are now 15 and 8 on the road.
And this was an impressive win as Boston wins it handily. Once again, the final from the Forum in Inglewood. The Celtics 98, the Lakers 85.